Welcome to part 2 of the bridge quiz. Just to review, part 1 you should have created 5 questions that are multiple choice, as well as an answer list with the 5 answers. Okay, so I'm just going to right click and collapse the block. That way those are out of the way. They're finished up. We're going to be adding in another variable, and this variable is going to be called current question index. And what this will do is it'll keep track of where we are with the questions. So we're going to go to math here. Current question index is going to be set at 1. We're also going to set up a screen 1 initialize. So under screen 1, when screen 1 is initialized or started, we want it to set the question label text. So we'll go to question label. We want the question label text to select an item from our question list. So we'll go to lists here, and you're going to find the block that says select list item. The list that we want, it's a question label, so we want it to come from the question list. So let's go ahead and expand this block. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Right click, expand the block. You hover your cursor till you get this window, and then you're going to select Get Global Question List. And then for the index, we're going to set that value to 1. So it'll start with the first one from the list. So when the screen starts, it's going to set the question label text to whatever the first question in the question list is. After that, we're going to set up a picture list. So we're going to create another list. So let's go ahead and create that. We're going to create another variable, and this one is going to be called picture list, and that'll go along with our questions. So we'll get the call make a list. And what you want to do, like we did before, we're going to have 5 pictures. You need to have one for every question, otherwise it will mess up. So you want to make sure you have 5 slots there. And what you want to do at this point is go back to the website that you got your questions from. And this picture size is actually perfect for our app. So what you're going to do is you're going to right click, you'll do save image, and you'll go to my computer, and let's go to the 506, fourth 9 weeks, go to your period, go to your folder. Just if you don't have one, make an App Inventor folder. And let's make another folder called Bridge Quiz. And this is very important. When you save the file name, just save it for whatever picture. So you're going to want to expand your question list. So I know that my third question talks about the Akashi-Kayo Bridge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this one 3. And I can see that it's a JPEG, and I'm going to save it. And this is tricky. People got tricked up on this last year. So you want to go back to the designer. And down at the bottom you have a media part. You're going to upload the file there, choose file, and you'll go to the folder you saved it in, and you'll open it up, click OK, and you're going to look at the name. So it says 3.jpg, and it's all lowercase, and you want to write this exactly. So on your blocks, I'm going to get this right here, and I'm going to name it 3.jpg. Okay, so it's named exactly how it is under media. Okay, so what I'm going to do, and what you need to do, is get a picture that correlates to each of your questions. And once you have that, come back to the video. I'm going to pause and do that now. Alright, so what you should have come up with in your media, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 .jpeg or PNG. You can see here that 2 and 4 are both capitalized. And on your blocks under your picture list, you want to basically copy that. So 2 and 4 I capitalized as JPEG. Some of you may end up with PNGs, so you just want to type PNG. Some of the JPEGs may have the word or letter E in the word, so you would just do that. Okay. Alright, so once we have that picture list set up, the next thing to do is to set the picture. Okay. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to get the next button. So when the next button is clicked, we want it to do a series of things. And the first one is going to be under control here. We're going to get this if-then statement here. And we're going to go to math and we're going to get the equal sign. And we're going to match up the global question index. So we're going to hover here. You want to get global question index. So if the global question index, and then we'll go to list here, you want to get the one that says length of list, and then the list will be the question list. So if the current question index is equal to the length of list, global question list, we're going to set the global question index to 0. So we want to hover right here, set global question index, and we're going to copy and paste, and we're going to change the number to 0. And then underneath that, we're going to set the global question index, so when we click it, to the next one. So I'm going to copy this block here, take this off, and I'm going to get the plus sign, and get global question index, and we're going to add a value of 1 to it. And basically what that'll do is when we click the next button, it'll take us to the next question. We also want to set the question label. So we'll go here. We're going to set the question label text to select a list item. And that list item will be from the question list. And then the index will be from the current question index. And then the last thing we need to do is set the image for the picture in this part. So we're going to go to the picture or image, and we're going to set the image picture to, and we're going to copy this or right click and duplicate it. But we don't want it from the question list, we want it from the picture list. So we'll go to the picture list here and get picture list. Okay. And now what we want to do here is open up our emulator and test it out. So I'm going to pause it and then test it out. Alright, so right now if you try to click submit, we haven't set that up yet, but eventually it'll say correct or incorrect. We're going to set that up. The next button is not working as well, and we're going to fix that actually in part 3. So what you want to do, don't freak out, go to part 3 and we'll fix that, and we're also going to be setting up our submit button. Okay, so I will see you then.